Okay, so everybody, welcome to our regular Thinking Thursday. And today I am going to be talking about I and my shadow self. A lot of people understand what is a shadow, but maybe they need to understand what is the shadow self. And for that, we need to understand that what you resist persists is a very commonly spoken phrase. Something in you that resurfaces and reappears. It's time to pay attention to it. So let us understand first, each one of you, what is it that keeps resurfacing and reappearing in your life? So if you have been avoiding something, pushing it away, or you feel that you have to attend to it, but somehow you're not putting your focus there, or there is some truth that you are unable to attend to. There is a lot of clutter that we create in our mind. So to clear the clutter in simple terms is possibly the shadow self that has been creating trouble for you. So I want you all to just take a little moment and I want you to think, if you have a pen or a pencil, that's a great thing to do. Write about something that you're trying to push away. So if you can, each one of you can just write something that you're trying to push away. It could be an emotion. It could be a behavior, a habit, or it could be a relationship that is troubling you, but you don't want to focus on it, attend to it, address it maybe. So can you all just mention something that you all are trying to push away? Because that will help you to understand the whole shadow self quite easily. Because I want you all to relate it to yourself. No? That's why. Okay, so if you all have just mentioned it, then I want you all to focus on that as we proceed. Okay. Now we are also aware, all of us are also aware that what we fail to recognize in ourselves may be mirroring to us in the various challenges that we face around us. You agree? What we are trying to avoid in ourselves, or what we are not trying to address in ourselves, or maybe not recognize in ourselves, could be mirroring to us through the challenges we face around us. So why don't you write any one challenge you are facing? Any one challenge you're facing. It could be maybe making more money. And a lot of healers will tell me, I can't ask for money. So that itself becomes a challenge. Or you are facing a challenge in a particular relationship because a certain emotion that is being mirrored to you, you're not able to accept it and you avoid it. So can you just mention any particular challenge that you are facing which is being mirrored to you repeatedly, and it is resurfacing all the time? It could also be sometimes you are not able to recognize it in yourself, but repeatedly people seem to be telling you, you are like this. Why are you such an angry person? And you say, no, I'm not an angry person. And then somebody else also says, Are, why are you frowning all the time? And you say, well, I'm not frowning all the time. So somehow you are not able to recognize it, but others in the environment seem to be projecting it to you. So that also could be a challenge that you could be facing. Somebody else is mirroring it and you seem to be not recognizing it. So that means this is a shadow, a part of yourself that has skipped the light of awareness. I repeat it again. A part of yourself that has skipped the light of awareness. You don't seem to be aware of it. Now, this could come from many aspects of yourself. It could come from a challenge that you have, which you have never faced before. You haven't done something before like that, and that could be a challenge. It could be coming from some wounds, some scars. It's from childhood that has been lingering and you are not able to face it. It could be coming from an unresolved relationship. You're trying to like not address a particular aspect of your relationship. You're not resolving something. Somebody is angry with you, or maybe your cousin or your uncle or aunt said something nasty to you, insulted you. And every time you see that uncle or aunt, your anger starts coming up towards them and you avoid them. You don't want to not address the person, address the anger. Correct? There is some anger because of what this person told you, and that insult you're holding on to. It's like a lingering wound. Now that relationship is unresolved. Now somehow other different relationships will start coming in your life, which also make you angry, and you keep them unresolved. So what are you collecting? You're collecting clutter in your mind. Anger is growing. It's not the person that is important, but the emotion that is important, which sabotages you. You agree? Something continuously sabotaging you because you are avoiding a particular relationship. Now, this becomes a struggle. You are struggling with this. Even your happy, loving relationships start getting affected. Have you noticed that? When one relationship is not going well, somehow, like I'll give you an example, okay? In the school where I'm attached, there was this special educator who joined recently. And somehow she did something, she did an action which was uncalled for. She crossed somebody's boundary. So she went to somebody's cabin, picked up that lady's phone, opened the phone, opened a particular chat with a person on the phone, and read it. Now that is crossing a boundary. You're not supposed to do that, right? But why did she do it? When I questioned her as to why she did something like this, she said to me that this lady, that means another special educator who works for the school, had very flippantly said, we all just work, we are all special because we work with special children. So that word special became a trigger, an emotional trigger for this girl. Why? I asked her, why would a word special become a trigger for you? So she said, no, in my previous school, I would take time to understand something and they would tell me, oh, you are special. Like trying to bully that person and say that, no, oh, you're not like others, you seem to be very special or something like that. Now, the word special for you and me could mean that you are unique. But for her, the word special meant you are different. You're not like us. So when I asked her, why would that be a trigger for you? And then she said that in her childhood, she was bullied for the color of her skin or her weight. And so she was different than others. So the word special actually triggered these emotional wounds. Because she had not addressed this, can you imagine? It came up in a way at work where the other team members are not really related to her in any way. Correct? But as if that lady, the other special educator, was wearing a mask of somebody from her childhood who could have bullied her. Now you can see the shadow self is watching the opposite person not as the person, but as somebody who may have bullied her in her childhood, as if that woman is wearing that mask. Now, this has cost her her job. We've asked her to leave, and she's been here only for 1 month. Can you see how the shadow self can come up and affect even your workspace? Why? Because this dark stuff, Carl Jung, the Swiss psychiatrist and psychoanalyst, is actually the person who spoke about the shadow self. And he said that this dark stuff that we push away, we push down, we deny, we keep hidden, actually is never going to let us stay in peace. So that is why the phrase, what you resist persists. Okay, now another very interesting phrase that I was reading, we don't see things the way they are, we see them as we are.
We are.
Okay, this is very beautiful. And that's exactly what this young woman told me, that the opposite person who was sitting in the other cubicle was speaking on the phone to somebody. She didn't even say this girl's name. She was talking to some random parent or something like that, okay? But this girl sitting in her cubicle, maybe just 2 feet or 3 feet or 4 feet away, heard her name being said. Can you imagine? She's not mentally unstable, but she's still in a illusionary, hallucinatory world in her mind. So we don't see things the way they are. She said, I don't know. I thought that she was telling my name. Why? Because internally, that wounded self of hers, that shadow self of hers, was making her suspicious. Right? How that suspiciousness was causing concern in her mind. So we don't see things the way they are, we see them as we are. And it's beautiful. The shadow self teaching is the brighter the light, the more noticeable the shadow. So the more somebody keeps telling you things, the more you will start noticing your shadow. And that's the reason when somebody says something to you, they are not pushing you into darkness. They're actually showing you the light. Can you understand? They're not pushing you into darkness. They're actually showing you the light. So you may think that somebody is troubling you, humiliating you, telling you all kinds of things, but that's not true. That person is trying to show you the light. But you are going to notice the shadow more then, correct? The brighter the light, the more noticeable the shadow. So that is why when you go in for therapy, like somebody goes in for therapy, what happens? The therapist keeps, or rather, we are all therapists. So the more we show the opposite person the mirror, what happens to that person? They begin to see their shadow. Have you noticed that? The more you show them the mirror, the more you make them understand deeper levels, the more they start seeing the shadow. So it's very important to understand this, okay? So they say the stronger the light, the darker the shadow. Now, the more you meditate, the more you turn spiritual, the darkness emerges stronger. This is also very important. That is why a lot of people, what do? I can't meditate. You know, when I meditate, then a lot of thoughts start coming up in my mind. So I'm going to avoid to meditate. No, when I hear somebody talking about their problems, I start crying. It happens, no? Like when we watch movies, right? And we watch a very tragic scene. What happens? At least to me, it does happen. Okay. When you tend to start crying, or you feel very upset. Yeah. Or you feel, oh my God, what's happening to me, right? I'm also identifying with the character on the screen. Why? Because deep, 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 deep down, we have shadows. We have unresolved things in ourselves. We are wounded. We are wounded, not only in this lifetime, across lifetimes. We are carrying these deep, deep wounds. And so when you see tragic scenes, like for me, when I see a scene where there is a loss of parents, I'll start crying. Generally, I've noticed this. Or when I hear very sentimental lines being spoken about love and care related to parents, I start crying. So maybe I haven't really got over the loss of my father. Or maybe I haven't got over the loss of many of my aunts or uncles whom I was close to. Or maybe across lifetimes, I have lost loved ones, right? Because that acts like a trigger to me. So there are aspects of me within me I'm unaware of, but they are definitely wounded selves of mine. So when you become spiritual, when you walk on this path of meditation and spirituality, the darkness will start emerging further. You know, I remember when I started teaching, I was so underconfident. I thought, oh my God, how will I teach people, or how will I tell them what I want them to experience? How will I create a PPT? How will I? So much of anxiety and nervousness was coming up. Though I knew my stuff, but yet I was nervous, lack of confidence, right? So, yeah, we all carry this lack of confidence. Even today, when I have to present something, plan something for a workshop, I'll spend a lot of time. Though I've done it a million times, okay? Still, I will spend a lot of time so that, everything goes well and I cover everything well. So, there is anxiety and nervousness. Though you may know your stuff, yet there will be nervousness and anxiety. Okay, so as you walk on this path of meditation, spirituality, going deeper inside you, the darkness, the dark side of you, the shadow side of you will keep emerging, and which is a good thing. It's a good thing because you're healing these aspects of you. Okay, and that is why spirituality is not for the weak willed, it's not for the weak minded. Many people want to meditate and all, but they can't, right? Because it's not meant for the weak minded and the weak willed. The other thing is, a lot of people who enter this meditative space, or Reiki or pranic healers, they generally tell me that when I do healing, I get drained. Have you heard this thing being said, that when I do this, I get drained? You don't get drained. It's your shadow side that is coming up. Some aspect of you is getting drained. You are not getting drained because you know what you're doing, correct? But another aspect of you, that shadow self of you, that is draining you because you have not given it attention. You have not resolved many aspects of you. So what happens? That drains you. You feel tired. So spirituality is not meant for everybody. If you have to get on this path of meditation, you will have to become strong and address your shadow self. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult when you start working in this field. And most of the time, the shadow self is veiled, माने it is hidden. उसके ऊपर एक ऐसी परतें लगी हुई है, layers लगे हुए कि आप देख नहीं सकते. You can't see it. It's very difficult to access that shadow self. Why? Because of your ego. Why is it that you're not able to look at those aspects of you that are troubling you because of your ego? You say, oh my God, I know everything. Hannah, Swamiji's 4 lines, right? I know nothing. I am nothing. I do nothing. And the fourth one I forgot. But I know nothing, I am nothing, I do nothing. I think when you start understanding these lines, You understand that how your ego is actually troubling you and not allowing your shadow self to come up. So when somebody tells us something, pay attention. They're not trying to push you down or pull you down, or why will they do that? Maybe they are jealous, maybe that is their own shadow side coming up. But their shadow side is making your shadow side come up too, na? Correct? If one person, two people, 10 people are telling you the same thing or they're making you uncomfortable, then maybe you need to be a little alert. Okay? So, what hurts you, this is what Carl Jung said, and it's a beautiful thing. What hurts you blesses you. The shadow has been serving you. Now, isn't that interesting? What hurts you blesses you. The shadow has been serving you in some way. And darkness is your candle. I love this saying by Carl Jung, that the shadow has been serving you in some way. Every time I remember, whenever I talk on the stage or, on television or whatever it is, I always recall my elocution teacher. I think many of my students know this. My elocution teacher in school, when I was in the 7th or 8th grade, she had complete faith in me. And she said, Trupti, you're going to say this poem on stage for the house competition. And I said, no, I'm not going to. I am very nervous. She said, no, you are going to say it. I was, I think, 7th, 8th grade mein thi shayad mein. I was the Blue House vice captain. So I had to obviously participate and, get points for my house. So she said, Sunday you have to come and practice the poem. So come home, Bandra. So I told my father, I don't want to take part. You please tell her that, my stomach is paining. Some excuse. And she said, no, Trupti, you're going to do it. I still remember her face, a beautiful face. And I practiced the poem. I knew the poem. I knew everything. I remembered it. But when I went on stage, the nervousness got to me badly. I stood there in front of the mic and I could only say, If by Rudyard Kipling. That was the poem. If by Rudyard Kipling. And I stopped. My legs were shaking, my hands were shaking. I had forgotten the poem, standing there, okay, in front of that huge crowd. My parents were also there because it was an open house competition where parents were also invited. And I still remember Mrs. Barucha, my elocution teacher, came from behind the wings and tapped me on my right shoulder. बहुत ही हल्का टैप था, बहुत ही हल्का टैप था, but that tap, I can still feel it. It's anchored in my right shoulder, actually. Okay. And as she tapped me, I just rattled the poem. As if उन्होंने एक बटन प्रेस किया और वो पोएम मैं बोलती गई and I got out of this. And Mrs. Barucha tapped me and went away. She didn't stand there behind me because I didn't look behind, but I was told later also that she came and tapped me, but I could sense her and her tapped. Okay? So what hurts you blesses you. That nervousness that I felt on that day, on that stage, and the tap that I felt of Mrs. Barucha, it hurt me at that time. That nervousness was very difficult for me to bear, but it has blessed me over the years. Correct? Every time I speak, I remember her. I remember her tap on my shoulder, and then I rattle off what I have to speak. Okay? So now I want each one of you now. Now let us do an exercise. Okay? The shadow has been serving you. Okay? Now I want you all to do an exercise, please, all of you. Just recall a time in your life, especially your childhood, because that's when all these shadow selves are very evident. Have you noticed it? It's in childhood that these shadow selves keep coming up because we are supposed to learn. है ना? Adulthood में क्या होता है? No, 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 I'm not like that. I'm not nervous. I'm fine. You'll say that. But बच्चे कभी नहीं कहेंगे I'm fine. जैसे नहीं मम्मा मुझे ये हो रहा है. Have you noticed? बच्चे हमेशा आपको सच बताएंगे, truth. They don't veil the shadow. So beautiful, no? They will not veil the shadow. They will access the shadow. They will tell you what is troubling them. If they're angry, if they're disappointed, if they are feeling nervous, anxious, they are kind of forgetting things. वो आपको बताएंगे कि हो रहा है मेरे साथ, प्लीज मेरी मदद करो. ऐसे बोलेंगे वो लोग. पर जैसे हम एडल्ट बनते हैं तो क्या बोलते हैं हम? अरे सब ठीक है. You'll keep saying that. सब ठीक है, सब ठीक है. Even when you have a health issue, you will say सब ठीक है. I remember my uncle, my dearest uncle who passed away 3-4 years ago, Mama ji mere. He was showing tremors. मैंने कहा कि मामा जी आप डॉक्टर को क्यों नहीं दिखा रहे हो? आपको ये ट्रेमर्स हो रहे हैं? नहीं नहीं कुछ नहीं है, वो मैं थक गया हूं इसीलिए. मैंने कहा मामा जी ग्लास पकड़ के मुंह तक लाने के लिए पानी गिर रहा है आपका, आप डॉक्टर को दिखा दीजिए. नो 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 नो. And eventually, he was diagnosed with Parkinsonism. Why? Because he didn't access the shadow early in life. Because सब ठीक है, मैं तो ठीक ही हूँ, मैं तो रोज वॉक पे जाता हूँ, मैं तो रोज जिम पे जाता हूँ, मैं तो वेट ट्रेनिंग करता हूँ. अरे भाई आप करते होंगे बट आपको ट्रेमर्स है. अवॉइड. Why? Because I don't want to access my shadow self. I don't want to access that part of me which says I'm unhealthy. But there is a part of you that is unhealthy. Physical health is not good, but मैं avoid करना चाहता हूँ. And eventually you get diagnosed and then you suffer, right? And everybody else suffers with you. That's the worst part of it. I want all of you to mention, सोचो इसके बारे में अच्छी तरह से, and write down what is that aspect of your childhood where you felt that shadow self coming up, but you have avoided it. I'm going to stop sharing for a few minutes. What is that shadow side of you that was there in your childhood, but you have not faced it, avoided it, or for some reason it never got accessed or it never got addressed because there was nobody to help you maybe. So आपने उसको प्रेस कर लिया, सप्रेस कर लिया, और अभी भी you feel you have that coming up. Come on, everybody, think of that aspect of you. And I want some sharing. Anybody can talk about what they have,
Yeah.
what they are realizing. Yes, Suruchi.
Yeah, ma'am. So I was told not to speak. As a child, I was telling some truth. So
Hmm.
my verbal communication till now is very poor.
Hmm.
I still feel lack, and that child still comes up. In fact,
Right.
today in the morning, I was coming from Pondicherry to Chennai. I was driving
Ah,
back, and I had to go to visit my husband. But the
ah,
shadow self automatically came, like you say, we meditate, we understand, and it
yeah.
told me to go to home. And I asked why I want to go back to home and not to my husband's place. So
Ah.
it means he doesn't respect. So I said, why
Hmm.
you have not respected you? So
Hmm.
that thing was going on from last 2.5 hours, and you gave me the solution.
The solution, though, you have to now work on the solution, right?
Now,
But
at
at
least
least you are
that,
realizing that this
yeah,
shadow self of yours, this wounded self of yours, is not being addressed.
yeah, till
बिकॉज
now.
ये एड्रेस हुआ नहीं है, इसलिए वो बार बार आपकी इस लाइफ को डिस्टर्ब कर रहा है.
Correct.
गुड, वेरी नाइस, थैंक यू फॉर शेयरिंग. श्वेता, अनम्यूट करके बोलो.
Okay. So, yeah, as you said, I realize I have this issue of procrastination.
Hmm.
Very big issue. So, either
Hmm.
I do a thing in this moment or I'm not doing it for the next 10 days unless it's urgency.
Hmm.
Unless I hit the deadline, either I don't do this or I do the moment it is given to me. थोड़ा
Hmm.
भी लेट हुआ तो आई जस्ट पुश इट कि ठीक है,
Hmm.
जब होगा तब देखेंगे। एंड एज
Hmm.
और मुझे उसका रीजन नहीं समझ में आ रहा था.
Hmm.
So as you ask me now, I
Hmm.
realized as a child I was probably on KG2, KG3, and I
Hmm.
remember that day,
Hmm.
KG2 maybe,
Hmm.
and the teacher asked us to write 1 to 500 in
Hmm.
spelling. One from 1 to 500 in
Hmm.
spelling,
In
and that
spelling,
is one
yes.
day's yeah, that is
Huh.
one day's homework. And I used to write in cursive, and
Hmm.
naturally my speed was slow. So
Hmm.
that day when I went home, and then my mother realized after winding up kitchen and all that I have not done the homework,
Hmm.
she literally held my hand like this, and I was made to write till 500, and I was not liking it. I said,
Hmm.
I better not do it.
Hmm.
I remember that I had my thumbs were paining
Hmm.
with holding the pencil. No,
Hmm.
I'm not doing it. Either I could have done in the class, or I'm not going to do it.
Very nice, Shweta. And what you are saying just reminds me of my little Shania from my school. The other day, the mother gave a call and said that yesterday night she was hitting me, the little child who's hardly 7 years old. Okay. So when I went to school on a Tuesday, I called her and I said, "What happened, beta? Mummy was saying that you were hitting. Kya hua tha?" She's making me study till 1 in the night, and she's making me write. I am so tired and fatigued, but my mother is not listening. And so I hit her to say, "I want to go to sleep. I'm tired." And children today are really getting exhausted. And they're telling you that wounded self of theirs. But what are we doing? No, you have to
Yes,
finish. You have to write. And little children, 3, 4-year-old children, are expected to write, with a pencil that was so tiny, that pencil, patli
pencil,
pencil,
correct.
ke patle haath. I understand what Shweta is saying. And that is why procrastination, Shweta.
And I'm so happy for Shania that she could actually speak up. I
Yeah.
could not speak up. So when we were doing the workshop in Rishikesh,
Ah.
I told whoever was taking my session,
Hmm.
till year 5, I was a very, very happy child. And then I was not suddenly
Ah.
for so many reasons.
So wonderful, Shweta. Thank you for sharing. Okay, procrastination. That is coming from that shadow self of yours, which was pushed to perform. Can you see the opposite of it? Push to perform. Now the behavior that you're showing is procrastination. Okay, wonderful. Amrita?
Hello, ma'am.
Hi,
So, what I remember is I think I was always praised for my art,
Hmm.
and but I don't remember I was ever praised, for my grades or doing well.
Hmm.
Uh, and somehow I never felt like I can be number one or do amazing in studies. So whenever I have to do something, I like till now I stop myself because I think, oh, I'm never going to be able to do it, give my best. I'm never going to be, it's just stuck in my head. And that, not, I don't know, it just stuck in my head that, I'm never going to be good enough for anything. And I just stop myself. It's even if I get opportunities, it's in my head that, I just pull myself back thinking
Hmm.
I'm never going to be good enough. Yeah, I think that's
Hmm.
my constant pattern that I'm trying to get rid of. But yeah, that's what I've
Okay.
observed.
So that
Yeah,
is your internal dialogue.
yeah.
So now you're also becoming aware. That's the next thing that we have to understand, that there is a wounded self. Now we've understood that, yes, there is an aspect of me that is coming from childhood. It's veiled, but now it is open because I'm an adult. I'm able to understand. I'm able to go back there and kind of relate to it from where it is coming. So first is the source from where it comes, the shadow self. Okay. Now you're just talking about one thing, like Shweta spoke about, to delay. You were speaking about excelling. But there are other aspects also. It's not just this. There are many other things that go along with it. Now that you have understood that there is this aspect of me that is disturbing me today, and it is affecting my life, I need to do something with it, or I need to do something about it, right? So yeah, there are a few more who have raised their hand. Neeta, you want to say something?
Yeah, ma'am.
Hanji.
So I have, I have realized that studies is something that, I was not very good at. But I have been, I have been putting a lot of effort in learning so many things over the past 5 years now, since 2018-19 to be precise. However, there is a pattern that I have seen, right? So when somebody is teaching me, I just go off to sleep.
Hmm.
It's not that I don't want to learn, but I don't know. Every day I maintain a diary कि ये मेरा to do list है, ये मुझे करना ही है. But when it comes to studying, I doze off or something or other happens and I don't do that part of my to do list, which is affecting my growth. So it's not that I don't know कि मुझे ये नहीं करना है, पर मेरे को break नहीं हो रहा है. How do I break this pattern? Because something or the other comes up and I just go off to sleep, or I'm not able to complete that
Very
part which I
nice.
want to
Very,
study.
very interesting, Neeta. Go off to sleep. So now I need you to think and I want everybody else also to think that, because you may have people like that, children around you like that, okay? So going off to sleep, I want you to think, Neeta, back, like in your childhood, okay? What is it that you were supposed to do, and you wanted that people should notice you, but you were not noticed. It was like you are invisible. You remember?
So many things.
So many things. Right now, you write all that, okay, today. For your to-do list today, write all those things that you wanted people to notice you, but you were not noticed. You were invisible to others around you, indicating you were not there. So as good as sleeping. है ना? Nobody notices me when I'm sleeping. But I'm awake, but I think people think I'm not there. I'm sleeping. So now what happens when you learn, or you have to study or do something like that, you are waiting for the instructor or whoever else, okay, to notice you or to give you a chance to speak, or you should be heard, you should be seen. And if that is not happening during the classes, maybe the way you want it, then it's better that you sleep. So it is not even when you're studying, no, but when the class is over and now you're studying that stuff. Okay, but what's the point of studying when nobody is going to ask me anything, or no, or maybe I may not be able to impress others. Maybe I will not be seen by others. Maybe I will remain in an invisible manner. So it's better that forget this. This is not going to work for me. सीखने के बाद भी अगर कोई मुझे स्टार नहीं देगा, तो बेहतर है कि पढ़ाई करने की जरूरत क्या है मुझे? A part of you, Neeta as a person wants to study. But Neeta, the shadow self of yours, the little self of yours that is being not given attention, doesn't want to study. So who is going to sleep? Not Neeta. Because Neeta has made a to-do list. But this self of Neeta is procrastinating, is going to sleep. So Neeta also goes to sleep, that's all. But when Neeta wakes up, she says, oh my God, why did I go to sleep? Why am I not able to remember what I've written in the book? So this shadow self will impinge, means will interfere. They say it will intrude in your life. That is what is happening in your case, Neeta. Understood, beta? So this is how you have to understand the shadows. I know many people have raised their hands, but let's move ahead. Okay?
Thank you
Then
so
maybe
much.
later on we can speak a little more. So let me show you the slide again. Okay, so now I think So you've understood this very well, so there's no problem. So let's just talk a little bit on Carl Jung, so you understand what this beautiful work that Jung spoke about. So Carl Jung believed that the human psyche was composed of three components: the ego, the personal unconscious, and the collective unconscious. Okay? So this is the conscious self. Can you see this part on the top? Conscious self, the ego. So this is the self, okay? Plus follow my cursor. This is the whole self of ours, in which there is the persona, which is conscious. Persona is nothing but the personality. Persona is something that you show others. Have you noticed that there is somebody in your home and with you, this person shows another behavior, but when this person goes out with others in a party or at work or something, he's a completely different person. And when somebody tells you, oh, my God, your husband or your brother or your father or your mother, they are just amazing people, what do? You smile at yourself and say, yeah, right, they are amazing people. But you don't know the true self of this person. Okay. So what is this person showing outside to the outside world? A persona, personality, a mask. Do we all wear masks? Do we all wear masks? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, we all wear
Yes.
masks, right? We are upset at home. Let's say we had a fight with your husband and this happens very often in my home. If my husband has told me something, in a loud voice and the phone bell rings, suddenly his voice becomes soft on the phone. And then I wonder what happened to him. Like, abhi wo zor se baat kar rahe the, and suddenly phone pe he's so sweet. Then I tell him, where was the sweetness when you just spoke to me? No, वो तो phone पे बात कर रहा था ना मैं. So the mask can be visible in any way. Visual mask हो सकते हैं, face change, voice change, posture change, gesture change. Have you noticed this in you? If you observe yourself beautifully, carefully, you will see how this persona comes up. Nah? Like, children in school, when they're sitting on their desk and they're eating food, chatter, 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 chatter. Yeah? The boxes are open, their hair is flying, the way they are sitting also, their skirts are up. Moment the teacher comes, what happens? Best of behavior. Suddenly they start smiling, they adjust their skirt, they are on the best of, they sit, attention. They are attending now. So that free self of ours, that spontaneous self of ours, we have to curtail and we have to stop, because now we have to put on the mask. So we have social masks that we put up, the personality. That is why sometimes we are not able to gauge somebody, right? Like I made an error when I took the special educator, because when I spoke to her over Zoom and I saw her and, whatever she told me, I was not able to read between the lines. I wasn't able to predict she would do something like this, right? It's difficult because the person obviously put up a mask. So we have to be aware of the masks we are putting up. We have to be aware of the masks we are putting up. I remember last December, I think last December only, I had this terrible, terrible toothache. Okay, it was nothing wrong with my teeth, but I think the cold must have triggered some nerves, and I was getting this terrible toothache. Shakuntala knows it, and but I had to obviously teach, right? I could not show anybody that I had this pain, so I put up that mask of having no pain. Okay, I think 2 days later, I told Shakuntala that I'm having this tremendous pain. So for 2 days, I had this mask on from morning till night. And then, of course, she gave,
And
she
Wawa
gave me
gave
the
that.
thing. Baba ne, Baba's
Wawa gave
husband.
that medicine.
Yeah, Baba's husband was a
Allopathy.
doctor, so he, said, "Ma'am, now you take this medicine. How are you talking so much when it's paining you on your cheeks? The nerve is paining you and all that." And then, of course, it kind of settled down. But what I'm saying is, we all do this. It's also a way of survival sometimes, no? Sometimes we have to put up these masks to only survive. We have to just pass through that phase because we can't show that we are in pain. But we are putting, so sometimes the masks can be for survival. They can be helpful to get by the situation. But if that becomes a habit, if that becomes a pattern, right, then it's a problem. Suppose I have a pattern that whenever I'm in pain, I will not express. Then that becomes a pattern. Then that is my shadow self. That unhelpful shadow self that seems to be coming up, then that is a problem. But like 4 days ago, I had a frozen shoulder, but I immediately reached out to Ratna and, she immediately helped me out. And I just told her yesterday, I think that, or today, I think that the frozen shoulder is gone and thank you so much. So I addressed the pain. But suppose if I was a person who was not addressing pain at all, and now why will I trouble people? What will they think of me? That, I'm their teacher and I'm having so much of pain and I can't manage myself or something like that. Then that becomes the shadow self, which is the unhelpful shadow self. But we can have shadow selves that help us also. Okay, so understand what is your unhelpful shadow self and whether the shadow self is slowly healing itself. Maybe many, 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 many years ago, I may have not told people that I'm in pain. Possible. Okay. But over the years, I have learned that I must allow my authentic self to come up rather than hide it. All right. So this is the persona, the masks that we wear. This is very important for us. Then we have the ego. The ego. I think everybody is aware of the ego. The ego kind of helps us to hide our shadow self. It kind of says, you're okay, come on, do it. You can do it. There's a pride. I'm this, I'm that, I'm so and so. So that ego, you're aware of your ego. Are you aware of your ego, the way it functions or not? Yeah, when you get hurt, the ego comes up. When you feel disappointed, the ego comes up. I'm not disappointed. I'm okay. I'm fine. Right? When you're not fine, the ego says, no, you say that you're fine. Huh? So sometimes in certain situations, the ego can be helpful. But most of the time, the ego is unhelpful. It kind of doesn't allow that wounded self to come up. So this is the conscious part of yourself, okay? Then you have the personal unconscious. Now, this is where the archetypes come. So what is an archetype? An archetype is an aspect, like the example could be like a archetype, let's say an helper archetype. That means you're following that role, the role that you take in your life, helper. Keep helping. That becomes an archetype because over the years, over centuries, civilizations, there have been helpers, the helper archetype, the sacrificing archetype, okay, the peacemaker archetype. In your home, there is always somebody who makes peace in your home. Who says, "Arey, like, chup raho dono, है ना? Chalo, बैठो दोनों साथ में बैठो." There'll be one person in this home who is a peacemaker. There could also be a trickster archetype, trickster, who finds a way out of corners. You could be a trickster finding a way out of corners. ऐसा कई बार होता है ना घर में कोई ऐसा होता है जो who will tell you how to get out of a problem. अरे ऐसे करोगी ना तो ऐसा हो जाएगा, कर लो ऐसे. Trickster.
Chanakya type.
है
Chanakya type.
Chanakya type, yeah, trickster. This is also an archetype. These are our personal unconscious. If you look at your past lives and you look at, if you have seen at least 5, 7 past lives of yours, you will notice the personal archetype you're carrying. Anybody would like to tell me if they've seen a number of past lives? What is that personal archetype that you're carrying? The same thing that you're doing in every lifetime. That could be your personal unconscious archetype. Anybody would like to?
Baba is written warrior. And I
Ah,
have seen many lifetime as a male lifetime. So even in
okay.
this
So Baba
life,
is writing. Yeah, I haven't seen any chat. But yeah, warrior. Okay, Baba is now on. Yeah. So Baba has understood what is the archetype, personal unconscious archetype. Anybody else who has seen a number of lifetimes and can tell me what is the personal unconscious archetype that you seem to be carrying? Anyone?
Ma'am, me?
Caretaker. Caretaker.
Caretaker. Yes, caretaker is another archetype that you could be having.
and
Taking care
teacher,
of people all the time. Yes. Yeah.
teacher,
Huh?
teacher.
टीचर यस टीचर आर्किटाइप हाँ सिखाना है लोगों को ठीक है make things better, make society better, make your family better, keep giving suggestions, motivations. So this could be an archetype. So when you see a number of your lifetimes, you could actually zero down on your personal unconscious space, which is your archetypal space. Okay, like there are many people like who see maybe 2, 3 lifetimes, and in all of them, so that can also be equated to a pattern. That can also be equated to a pattern. So now if Baba is saying warrior is an archetype, or Shakuntala is saying teacher is an archetype, see how that archetype, there'll be helpful aspects to the archetype and there'll be unhelpful aspects to the archetype. So each one of you who's understanding their archetype, look at the helpful aspect of your archetype and the unhelpful aspects of your archetype. So Baba, would you like to write down the helpful aspect of your archetype and the unhelpful aspect of your archetype, just to give everybody a heads up on, or Shakuntala, you can also write the helpful aspect of being a teacher and the unhelpful aspect of being a teacher. The archetype will have both. It will also have some shadow aspect to the archetype.
Ma'am, I saw always being quiet, not opening myself. That's 2 lives which I
okay.
have seen. कि
Right.
मुझे ऐसे लगा मैं कभी open up नहीं कर सकी और वही अभी भी मुझे हो रहा है.
So yeah.
Unable to speak.
Correct. So that can be an archetype of what we call innocent. So Carl Jung speaks about innocent. Innocent, like playing the little child. मैं ये नहीं कर सकती, मैं ओपन अप नहीं हो सकती, मैं ये भी नहीं हो सकता मेरे से, मेरे पास वो भी नहीं हो सकता, प्लीज हेल्प मी. Showing that you are gullible.
Yes.
Okay, so this innocent archetype is coming up. So it is possible that in your current lifetime, the helpful aspect of the innocent archetype, you'll have to see how is it helping you. Maybe you get help easily. And how is it not helping you? Because then you're not using your own creativity. You're seeking help before utilizing your own creativity. You feel कि नहीं अभी मैंने तो बहुत कोशिश की पर नहीं हो रहा है, मम्मी अभी आप हेल्प करो. अभी आप बड़े हो गए हो तो भी आप थोड़ी करोगे मेहनत. उसके बाद when you are just at the point of breaking the unhelpful self, you ask for help. Are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes.
When you are when that innocent archetype is about to become successful, you ask for help.
Yes,
That
right.
innocent archetype becomes unhelpful then. So what you have to do is not ask for help. Matlab, take it in your stride that, okay, this work I'm going to do till completion. I will not ask for help. Now, what will the innocent archetype do? Even when I tell the person that, okay, complete your work, it will still allow the unhelpful self to come up by saying, is it good? Mane, the innocent archetype will still go to somebody and say, ask for validation. Is it good? So that is how the innocent archetype does. Okay.
Trupti Ma,
You have to be a little like not ask for validation. When the innocent archetype stops asking for validation, then that innocent archetype will be able to become more spontaneous, more creative, more intuitive, because that is also an aspect of the innocent self, okay? The innocent archetype. So understood what I'm saying?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
thank you so much. Yes.
Trupti ma'am,
Huh?
I have a question. So,
Huh.
with me, I take a lot on myself. I take a lot of responsibility,
Yeah.
self-sacrificing,
Right.
peacemaker, trying to help everybody.
Correct.
People get drawn to me, and all of that. And I take
Yeah.
upon a lot on myself. And guess what? In 2021,
Hmm.
I had frozen shoulder. Both my shoulders were frozen.
Very
And
nice.
that's when I went deeper into emotional, and getting to understand like why it was happening to me and what is about myself that's
Hmm.
triggering all of this, the
Hmm.
psychosomatic.
Hmm.
And I realized it was because I took upon a lot on myself. I didn't, for example, let's say there's a huge laundry basket.
Hmm.
Physically, I will carry 3 floors. My boys
Hmm.
are at home, my husband is at home. I will never ask for help. Or if
Hmm.
I did ask someone, hey, can you get it to the basement? And they delayed, I will just take it
Hmm.
myself. Or
Hmm.
it takes upon any work around the home, outside of work, whatnot. I will just do it, not ask for help. And that was a problem that I had. I
Hmm.
can't seek help.
Hmm.
And that could be from my childhood because I was very independent and did a lot on my own. But
Hmm.
sometimes I feel now
Hmm.
I started thinking and I started asking for help when I need to. I
Hmm.
realize that I cannot be a giver all the
Very good.
time.
Very good. Excellent.
I need to receive, otherwise in the old age I will have to be bedridden to receive. So that image helps me to
Yes.
say no, I
Yes.
need to receive.
Very nice. Very nice. So that awareness is important. And then acting on that awareness is equally important, which is what you are doing. Okay. Now let's go to the collective unconscious that Jung spoke about, which has 3 things: the shadow self, the soul image, and the mana personality. Okay. Now the shadow self, I think you've understood. Now, what is the soul image according to Carl Jung? Now, all of us, in very simple terms, I'm going to say, okay, all of us through our childhood identified with some myth, maybe a fairy tale character or something, okay, that was not real, was not from your real world, but it was still a projection of you. Can you remember? Like fairy tale. Let's look at fairy tales, okay? Like myths.
Cinderella.
Like you have Cinderella, Rumpelstiltskin, Snow
Yeah.
White, yeah, all the various fairy tale characters, or certain myths like Krishna, not myths but characters like Krishna, right? You were fed with Krishna stories. So now Krishna became a part of your projection. So when you think of beauty or trying to solve a problem or just music, dance, you'll think of Krishna. So how
Feeling the
you
game.
have interpreted that story or that myth or that character from your childhood is actually part of your soul image, because that is a collective unconscious image, right? Cinderella is not something you and me only read. It was read across civilizations, across countries, correct? So this character is part of your collective unconscious. It's part of your soul image. And it will also relate to what I spoke about, the archetype, because it's from the collective unconscious that the personal unconscious will be created, right? The personal unconscious is not separate from the collective unconscious. So this is the collective image that you have. And you can identify it from your childhood again. It's a projection, it's a projected image. It's not a real image, it's a projected image. Okay. And then, so this is very interesting. Anybody would like to say about a projection, a image that you are carrying from your childhood, which is a projected image, and you are actually behaving like that?
So, ma'am, I would like to speak.
हाँ
I'm Suman. So,
Suman,
ma'am, in my childhood, I used to watch many of Meena Kumari's movies
हाँ हाँ
and Tapasya, Meena Kumari. So, I
हाँ
was like, कि sacrifice करना दूसरों के लिए. That is the only
हाँ
way of living. And I
wonderful.
was so much into that consciousness. दैट पावर में खड़ा होना क्या होता है वो तो पता ही नहीं था, बोलना क्या होता है वो तो आता ही नहीं था. आप अपनी बात बोल सकते हो, नहीं नहीं नहीं, जो सेक्रीफाइस करता है दैट
हाँ
person, that lady is the highest to be at the highest level. This was my
Wonderful, Suman. Very nice. Very, very well put. Yeah. Sometimes we identify like hero worship. No? है ना? Meena Kumari, tragedy queen. Look how her life, and then slowly we also become like Meena Kumari. हमारी जिंदगी भी वैसी हो जाती है जैसे वो कैरेक्टर की थी, वो हीरोइन की थी उस फिल्म में. Correct? So where reality and fantasy merge, there can be a lot of problems, right? Because the shadow self will now start emerging. The soul image will start impinging on the shadow self and also will impinge on your conscious mind. And then, yeah, you want to say something? You've raised your hand. Want to say something about this soul image?
Ma'am, can I say something?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Am I saying?
हाँ जी, बोलो.
No, this is me, Nivedita
हाँ,
Trupti. Yeah,
हाँ,
so basically, I just wanted to validate what this lady said about Meena Kumari. In
हाँ,
fact, that is a joke between our friends. You
हाँ,
know them like Meena
हाँ,
and Ulupi.
हाँ,
So we
हाँ,
always say, "अरे यार, that Meena Kumari इनसे conditioning हो गई है. मैं मीना कुमारी दर्द की मारी दुखियारी."
हाँ,
So this is how
yeah,
we would talk when we talked about our married lives and
yeah.
in-laws and all of that. So I just wanted to validate that.
Yeah,
Thank
so
you.
absolutely. So,
Ma'am,
Neetu,
ma'am,
now what you are saying now, if everybody,
Yeah.
this is not joke. It's not a joke. It's a very serious thing. Okay, because
Oh, okay.
sometimes we tend to identify people through these movie and characters. Okay, and
Absolutely.
slowly, as we start doing this opposite person says, "Oh, Meena Kumari, yeah, love, wonderful,"
Yeah.
and then slowly you start
Yeah.
behaving like Meena Kumari also. And
Oh, yeah.
it is a very dangerous thing. Very, very dangerous it
Absolutely.
is. Okay. So this is, so I think people have understood about the soul image. Let's go to the next
Yes.
one and then we'll talk a little bit more about other things. Okay. Now you have the mana personality. So Carl Jung spoke about this concept of a mana personality, which describes a figure in your life possessing extraordinary power or influence associated with archetypes. And the three archetypes that Hume spoke about for this personality is a hero, a magician, and a wise old man. A hero, a magician, and a wise old man. It's very unconscious. Okay? It's like what Hume spoke about is like uh, you you are, it can be very dangerous at times, this personality, because you get so influenced by them that it can actually affect your entire life. Like somebody, in your family who's like a magician, or you can just have a fantasy of, oh, I will not have. छोटे बच्चे कैसे होते हैं, they see superhero movies and they wear a cape and then they just fly as if they are flying and they fall. That personality of that magician or hero becomes so overpowering to you, it influences you. Sometimes, again, it can work positively and it can work negatively. But generally, the mana personality works in a positive manner, is what Jung says. Okay? Like the wise old man. Beta, tu to badi wise hai. Ab negatively, kai baar, I mean, what I have seen is it can also work in the opposite manner, right? Like when I was young, I was always told that I'm very intelligent. I'm very, मतलब शांत स्वभाव है ना, होता है ना, sometimes people tell you that, है ना. तो मुझे हमेशा कहा गया था, मेरा स्वभाव बहुत शांत है, मैं बहुत इंटेलिजेंट हूँ, मैं बहुत वाइज हूँ. मे बी आई वॉज नॉट वाइज. हाउ कैन आई बी वाइज when I'm 12 years old, 13 years old, 14 years old, right? But my aunt and uncle gave me this impression that I'm very balanced, I'm very grounded. Okay, but it's not true, because I remember I used to have a lot of anxiety at that time. But because everybody said I was very shant and, intelligent and I can manage myself, I was not able to speak my own difficulties to them, because if I tell them that, I'm having problems, then they will have a different impression of me. But this is so unconscious, so collective, itna deep hota hai ye, that it starts affecting you, and then you become wiser and wiser and wiser. And actually, you may have anxieties, but this persona, or rather this figure, not persona, but this figure, which has some extraordinary influence over you, begins to guide you also. So now you're being guided by the mana personality, the influencer, let's say, in your life, the soul image, the fantasy personality, and the shadow person. This is all unconscious. Can you see what we are carrying? Deep in our unconscious, we are carrying the shadow self, the fearful self, the self that has been suppressed, that is unable to be addressed. We are carrying a fantasy image of ours, which could eventually affect my personal unconscious and my conscious. And I'm also carrying an influencer image, which is intrinsically being given to me. Like you're a wise person, you're a priestly person, you are a magician. तू ना बेटा, तू मेरे लिए बहुत lucky है. Children are told this. You're very lucky for me. And now you carry that lucky. It's a good thing. I'm lucky for you. But you carry that luckiness in you, which could work in your favor, that you're very lucky. Okay? But sometimes when you're not lucky, you think that, am I really lucky? No, a doubt can also come into your mind. So the mana personality is more, I would say, positive, more positive than the soul image. And the soul image is slightly more positive than the shadow. But all this are also part of your collective unconscious self. Okay? So I'll just quickly go through it and then I can take some questions. This is how does the shadow self manifest in us in various ways? So this is, I don't think I'm doing a good job on the project. The shadow self says this to me, whereas I am, oh, she made another mistake. She's doing an awful job in the project. This is what you're saying, and the shadow self says something else to you. And there is some projection that takes place, okay? And there is someone else in your life that is also mirroring the same thing. So how you project, how the shadow self projects itself, this is how it happens. Here and here, this is following you. Okay, someone else mirroring it also. So let me just quickly show you how does the shadow self manifest itself, okay? So one is projection that we spoke about. If someone represses anger, they may see others as aggressive or hostile, even when they are not. Hume said, everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Now, ye statement dhyan rakho. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. I want you to write, what is it that irritates you about others? Write one word. What is it that irritates you about others? Write one word and keep it, okay? Then emotional triggers is another way that the shadow self can show us that it exists. Feelings like jealousy, rage, shame, guilt, all this springs from our repressed aspects of ourselves, okay? These reactions are disproportionate and persistent. Ye important hai. Disproportionate and persistent. Oh, once in a while you feel jealousy, you know, okay, the shadow self is there, okay? But if this is persistently there, then you'll definitely have to work on it, okay? Then you have self-sabotage. If you feel you're sabotaging yourself, the shadow self is showing up then for you. Like procrastination despite ambition. You are ambitious. So Shweta, this goes for you. So you are procrastinating. You're ambitious, but you are curtailing that by procrastination. Choosing toxic partners despite wanting love. These behaviors reflect unconscious beliefs and unresolved wounds. Most of you are aware of the self-sabotage pattern. Another way the shadow self will come up is identity conflicts. The shadow clashes with the persona or our social mask. We may feel fake, fragmented, or disconnected from our true self. Hume described the shadow as inferior and guilt-laden, yet also containing creative impulses and realistic insights. As you start working with your shadow self, no, a lot of creativity will start coming up. As the shadow self declines, the creative self will start coming up also, because the shadow self is hiding this creative self also. Then the other concept that Jung speaks about is the shadow is the golden shadow. Not all shadow content is negative. Like I said, there's a helpful aspect of it also. The golden shadow includes hidden talents, creativity, and potential that we have disowned or undervalued. Someone who avoids leadership may secretly possess strong leadership qualities. And then when will this come up? I'm sure this you can talk about. This shadow, this golden shadow of yours, the hidden talents and creativity, may have come up much later in life. Suddenly you realize post 40 or post 38, 40, oh my God, I have this talent. Like I realized much later in life that I have the talent of speaking. I mean, today when I speak on podcasts, they say, ma'am, what a good orator you are. And then I kind of laugh at myself and say, yeah, I remember Mrs. Barucha touching me on my shoulder. So the key is this hidden talent came up much, much, much later in my life, right? So we all possess this golden shadow of ours, and it's important for us to recognize that also. And then there is a collective shadow. Groups and societies also have shadows. This is very interesting. You can study more on this beautiful aspect of collective shadow. Prejudice, scapegoating, mass hysteria often stem from collective projections. Hume warned that ignoring the shadow can lead to interpersonal conflict or even war. Now, you know there are countries going to war, right? Because they have a collective shadow. So this is like a completely, it's such a deep subject, the shadow self, because you can even speak about countries and nations and the kind of shadow self that as a nation they are carrying. Certain societies and groups carry that shadow. Like when somebody says, can Bengali, they say, oh, you must be singing and you must be singing or you must be playing some instrument. Why? Because Bengali culture carries that shadow that, oh, Bengali hai to usko gana to aana hi chahiye, right? If you're a South Indian, you must have done dancing, okay? Bharatanatyam आपने सीखा होगा, ठीक है?
And if you are a Marwadi, you will be Kanjus.
Yeah, if you're a Marwadi, yeah, absolutely, Shakuntala. If you're a Marwadi, you must be Kanjus. These are collective shadows. Okay, prejudice and scapegoating takes place when you have collective shadows, and you have to get rid of this because this causes distance, it causes distress, it causes conflict in the minds of others. Okay, so there's a lot. Shadow self में बहुत सारी चीजें हो सकती है. Maybe another time when I take a class on shadow self, more we can talk about. You can also relate shadow self, archetypal shadows, to, no, not this one. This is like a big slide. But shadow and guna. So when I've studied shadow self, you can even relate it to the gunas, okay, for our Vedic scriptures, mein, tamogun and rajasgun. Shadow self can emerge like that, okay? Like tamogun is lethargy, delusion, ignorance, attachment to materiality. This is how tamogun comes up. So the shadow self can come up like this beautifully. We can understand it very easily, okay? And the rajas gun, okay, the rajogun that comes up, action and activity, overly need to work, workaholism. This is also a shadow self. Why am I working incessantly? Why can't I rest? There is a reason why you're not able to rest. Because maybe you were told to be busy. Stay busy. है ना? Busy रहो. Busy रहना चाहिए. तुम्हें बैठना नहीं चाहिए. Why are you sitting? Stay busy. Maybe it's that aspect of you, of the desire and passion that fuels ambition and attachment. Pursuit of worldly pleasures. एक गाड़ी, दूसरी गाड़ी, तीसरी गाड़ी. है ना? Rajas. Okay, this can also be part of your shadow self. It can indicate to you that particular shadow self of yours, restlessness and a creative force, which can also lead to jealousy, hatred, and a lack of peace. So you can also relate the shadow self, because when you study Carl Jung, a lot of what he says comes from actually our scriptures. So when you relate to it beautifully to the guna, the philosophy of guna, the guna psychology, you can immediately understand the shadow self very well. Okay, so that is something that you can understand and read. So it's already 9:30. I'll take some questions. So just want to tell you that I have a retreat in Goa this year. In September, it takes place. It's called the Reparenting Retreat, working with the shadow self and the inner child. September 11th to September 15th is the Reparenting Retreat. This is the course content. I will put it up if you want. Day 1, day 2, day 3, whatever we are doing during those days, those 5 days. And if you're most welcome to attend the retreat and understand more about yourself and work on yourself during those 5 days with the pancha tattva, that is all the 5 elements that make you up, the gunas. And of course, I use transactional analysis and arts-based therapy when I work with the reparenting the inner child. Okay, so thank you so much. And if you want to read more and more and more, please go to my Facebook page, because that's where I write regularly. So thank you for being patient and listening to me. So now I can take some questions. If you
Ma'am, one more thing, like you showed us the slide for Rajas Guna and Tamoguna. Is there a slide for Satguna also?
Sattva gun mein you wouldn't have, no, shadow self will not be visible. No, Sattva gun mein
Okay.
kaise aayega shadow self? Nahi aayega.
Okay. Okay, ma'am. And one more thing, everybody who shared that their shadow, like they felt there is a shadow self. It has been like that behavior has been is a reason for something someone did to them, either their parent or teacher
Yes,
or whatever.
absolutely. Yes.
So it will be always done by somebody else or somebody, like I can do something on myself also to create a shadow shelf of myself of
Yes,
myself.
you're a small child, no, when you're born. Like a simple example, suppose a child is born, the child is just born. Okay? And is the child lucky, unlucky, ऐसा कुछ होता है जब बच्चे का जन्म होता है? नहीं.
नहीं.
कोई आपको बोल सकता है कि ये बच्चा ना मनूस है. तो कोई बोल रहा है ना, मैं तो सुन रही हूं. आई एम लाइक अ स्पंज. एक बच्चा कैसे होता है? वो तो क्ले है ना? वो क्ले को मोल्ड कौन करेगा? पेरेंट्स करेगी, रिलेटिव्स करेंगे, सोसाइटी करेगी. करेक्ट है? तो शैडो सेल्फ कोई आपको दे रहा है, क्योंकि हम पास्ट लाइफ थेरेपिस्ट है, इसलिए हमें ये भी पता है कि हम कई बार शैडो सेल्फ अपने पूर्व जीवन से भी लेकर आते हैं. ओके, प्रारब्ध भी तो लेकर आते हैं ना, तो उसमें भी हमारा शैडो सेल्फ हो सकता है, बिकॉज तभी तो हमने इस तरह की फैमिली को चुना. So
Right.
अगर हम डीपर जाएंगे, see Carl Jung
Yes.
spoke about the collective unconscious, and Carl Jung did believe in past lives. It's not that Carl Jung did
Okay.
not believe in it, okay?
Okay.
He came from a Freudian perspective, but then he moved away from that and analytical psychology. Carl Jung की जो
Okay.
psychology है वो analytical psychology है. And
Okay.
this whole collective unconscious phenomena Freud never spoke about.
Okay.
ये पूरा contribution Carl Jung का है. So he took analytical psychology to a completely different level. That is why he speaks about the spirit and all that, like the shadow self, the soul.
Okay.
He
Okay,
used the
ma'am.
word soul,
Okay, ma'am.
but because they come from a very Western mindset, they will not speak immediately about spirit and all that. Okay, they'll speak it in a different manner. That's all, nothing else.
Okay,
Yes,
ma'am.
anybody else? हाँ जी, Priyanka, you want to say something?
यस मैम सो
Hmm.
मैम प्रोस्टिलेट्स जो टैगलाइंस बचपन में मिलता है जिसके कारण
Postulates, yeah.
सो दैट
That is
इज
also
फीलिंग
part of your shadow self. That is that is part of your shadow self.
so the
Internal
process
dialoguing.
so the process to resolve that those postulates is the same to resolve the shadow work.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Rajinder,
नमस्कार मैम,
namaste.
सभी को नमस्कार मैम. Actually, I joined the meeting very late. I was
Oh.
coming from the office when the meeting started. So basically, actually, I missed the part. I missed the part when you were when the shadow self was being discussed. So
हाँ.
as I so shadow self is means as I from the later part that I could understood from the meaning of shadow self. Does shadow self means that some suppressed part of the personality that
Yes.
was not allowed to by because of social norms or something else?
Correct.
Is it like that?
Yes, absolutely. That is a shadow self is your self that has been suppressed.
Okay.
Okay, and because of its suppression, it is affecting your life today. कई लोगों ने जैसे बोला, आई थिंक जैसे और लोग बोलेंगे, आई थिंक यूल अंडरस्टैंड व्हाट दे आर टेलिंग, है ना? ओके, आदि
यस मैम. यस मैम.
यस बेटा.
तो मैम अभी भी मतलब मुझे लगता है कि ये हील कैसे होगा, बिकॉज मुझे लगता है कि मेरा पास्ट लाइफ से भी आया है. फॉर एग्जांपल पहले कभी आई सॉ माई सेल्फ एज अ विक्टिम, रेप विक्टिम. तो वहां से भी मुझे आया कि मैं बहुत ज्यादा फेमिनिस्ट थी कि नहीं फीमेल के अगेंस्ट होना नहीं चाहिए इवेंचुअली. बट फिर भी मुझे सिंड्रेला सिंड्रोम भी था कि मुझे कोई बचाने आए. तो आज भी अगर मैं मूवीज देखती हूँ तो मुझे वो सिंड्रेला वाली मूवीज की कोई स्ट्रॉन्ग बंदा मेरे को कोई तो somebody save me. प्लस बचपन में भी मैं बिकॉज सिंगल चाइल्ड थी, तो मुझे सब बोलते थे कि भाई ये सिंगल चाइल्ड है, इसको तो कोई दवाई देगा. तो मैं समहाउ मैं मैरिज में मैं थोड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग हो गई कि नहीं, नो डाउरी नथिंग लाइक दैट. बट इवेंचुअली मैंने ये भी अपने पास में देखा कि यही लोग थे जिन्होंने कि मुझे, क्योंकि रेप विक्टिम थी तो इसको बाहर निकाल दिया गांव से. तो मतलब मुझे बड़ा स्ट्रॉन्ग अभी, लेकिन अभी भी मैं विक्टिमाइज हो जाती हूँ उनसे, मतलब मैं बहुत दब जाती हूँ. ऑल्दो मतलब कुछ लोगों से फिर भी मैं थोड़ा सा स्ट्रांगली कर पाती, बट आई एम स्टिल नॉट, आई डोंट थिंक सो आई हैव बीन एबल टू हील माय सेल्फ ऑन दैट.
बट द की इज दैट यू हैव बिकम अवेयर. ये इंपॉर्टेंट है. पहला स्टेप तो वही होता है ना बेटा, कि आप अवेयर है अभी कि मैं दबती हूँ, कि मेरे साथ ये होता है, कि मेरा विक्टिम सेल्फ ऊपर आता है. ये अवेयरनेस इज द फर्स्ट स्टेप. अब अवेयरनेस हैज कम, ठीक है. अब यू विल, व्हेन यू आर अवेयर, यू विल रिकॉग्नाइज द सिचुएशन क्विकली. इस सिचुएशन अब मुझे दबाया जा रहा है, या मुझे अब दबाने की कोशिश हो रही है. करेक्ट है. तो वो अवेयरनेस आ गई. नाउ यू विल बिहेव इन ए डिफरेंट मैनर. सो दिस इज ए लाइफ लॉन्ग प्रोसेस बेटा. इसको धीरे 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 तुम्हें अवेयर होते होते अपनी बिहेवियर चेंज करते रहनी है. चेंज चेंज चेंज, सो दैट स्लोली एंड स्टेडिली दैट शैडो सेल्फ श्रिंक्स. हमारा फोकस क्या होना चाहिए कि शैडो सेल्फ धीरे 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 श्रिंक हो जाए, एंड माई ऑथेंटिक सेल्फ कम्स अप. जो मैं हूं, माई सेल्फ, आई डोंट नीड टू वेयर अ मास्क. मुझे अपना पर्सोना, अपनी पर्सनैलिटी, कभी कभी यू वेयरिंग अ मास्क फॉर सर्वाइवल इज डिफरेंट. है ना? But wearing a mask which is not authentic is different. Correct? तो अब तुम्हें पता चल गया, तो now you will say that okay, अभी मैं aware हूँ, मैं भी victim नहीं, मैं express करने वाली हूँ. Now when you express, you don't have to be aggressive. You can express in an authentic manner कि अब तो मैं I'm not going to, बिचारी तो हूं नहीं मैं अभी, है ना? तो अब मैं आराम से एक्सप्रेस कर सकती हूँ. Every time you feel like a victim, sometimes you slip in that shadow self, है ना? Sometimes you are able to rise. तो ये
like there are 5-6
continue
people,
करो.
but
हाँ.
अभी भी एक जने से मैं अभी भी victimized feel करती हूँ. I literally black out
हाँ,
कि
तो
जब
अभी
भी वो मेरे को
ब्लैकआउट
बोलने
नहीं
लगती
होना
है
है.
तो.
अभी क्या करना है? When that person calls, or that person is in front of you, or that person is in a party, learn to ignore. To ignore is not your victim. Your victim is not ignoring. It is your hero that is ignoring. By hero, film में, hero will hit the villain. Will the hero hit anybody else, the henchman? No, he is focused on the villain. Correct? इसी तरह से you have to ignore the villain. And it is very difficult to ignore. आपको पता है, इग्नोर करना बहुत मुश्किल है ना? But to ignore is also a great art. मुझे कहाँ ध्यान देना है, एक्सक्यूज मी, और मुझे कहाँ ध्यान नहीं देना, दैट इज ए साइन ऑफ विवेक, है ना? एक विवेकी आदमी ही इस चीज को समझ पाएगा कि भैया यहाँ ध्यान देना है और यहाँ ध्यान नहीं देना. जहां मैं ध्यान दे रही हूं वो मेरे लिए यूजफुल है, हेल्पफुल है. जहां मैं ध्यान नहीं दे रही हूं उसको मुझे इग्नोर करना है. दैट शैडो सेल्फ इज वांटिंग टू फील अपसेट, इज टेलिंग यू उसी की तरफ देख, उसी की तरफ देख. अभी वो इंसल्ट करेगा तुझे, अभी वो बुरी बातें कहेगा तुझे, वहां जा, वहां जा, वहां जा. एंड यू से नो, आई एम नॉट गोइंग टू गो देयर. That speaks of character. That speaks of great character, right? So the next time, learn to ignore. This will help you better. ठीक है? Okay, anybody else? Soumya ji?
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Ma'am, I just want to say, in my childhood, my cousin sister was very good looking. I was not.
Now
And
stop saying that. I was not. ठीक है. All right. But
yes,
now we are getting it.
yes,
I
ma'am.
hope you are listening.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Rajinder.
Yes, ma'am.
आपने जो मिस किया था अभी सौम्या जी बता रही है कुछ. हाँ, सौम्या बोलो.
So always there was a comparison which made me into studies more, and look-wise, I used to feel extremely inferior because of my complexion and other things. And this veil has touched my soul till date. I do not stand in front of mirror very frequently.
Very beautiful. So beautiful, huh? Soumya is saying that I don't stand in front of the mirror frequently because that shadow self comes up and says, you're not good looking. Don't look at yourself
Yes.
in the mirror. Yeah. So what is the exercise Soumya needs to do? Take a mirror. The mirror exercise. Take the mirror.
Yes.
वो छोटा वाला मिरर होता है ना जो हम देते हैं अपनी इनर चाइल्ड में, और देखते रहो. Keep looking. Keep looking at the beautiful eyes that you have and the lovely forehead जिसके ऊपर आप बिंदी लगाती है वो, फिर आपकी सुंदर नाक सौम्या जी जो इतनी तीखी और अच्छी है, फिर आपके सुंदर होठ, and tell God, you have given me everything that I need. You have given me eyes to see beauty. You have given me a nose to smell a rat.
Yes.
Okay, rat-like people. You have given me a nose to smell rat-like people. You have given me mouth so that I can eat healthy food. You have to say this and say, oh God, this face is so beautiful.
Okay.
Right? You have to keep looking in the mirror.
Okay, ma'am.
Ma'am,
आज के
even
बाद
now her
सौम्या,
camera is off.
हाँ 5
Even now
मिनट,
her
5
camera is
मिनट
off.
एक्सरसाइज, लुक इन द मिरर, कीप
Yeah.
छोटा वाला मिरर लेना, ओनली
Yeah,
फेस,
ma'am.
हाँ
Yeah.
फेस, फेस
and
को
ma'am,
देखना है,
there was a
And
Hindi movie,
हाँ
yeah,
सौम्या,
yeah,
मैं
ma'am.
सुंदर हूँ.
I like it, she's put on her video, everybody
Yes.
let's clap for Soumya,
Yeah,
she has
ma'am,
put on the
and
video.
the height is in the end. I just want to say, I
हाँ
lost that cousin of mine due to
हाँ
breast cancer in March,
हम्म
and today tears come to my eyes.
yeah, Soumya.
Somaji, you are so beautiful.
Isn't she?
Really, really, really.
Really, really,
I'm sure
really.
everyone will agree with me, I'm sure.
You know,
Thank
I
you.
always tell, कई बार ना हम कहते हैं वो तेरा दिल इतना सुंदर है, अरे दिल को छोड़ो, चेहरा इतना सुंदर है वो कहो, है ना? There are many people who will say, you know, when they don't want to compliment somebody's looks, let's say, oh, पर इसका दिल बहुत सुंदर है. अरे दिल क्यों? इसका चेहरा इतना सुंदर है ना? ये important है. People see, because we have a
Yes.
body, yeah, it serves our purpose, yes. But because we have a body, we would like to dress it up. है ना? एक मैनिकिन को हम इतना ड्रेस करते इन द विंडोज ऑफ शॉप्स. यार हमें भी तो बॉडी है तो हमें ड्रेस करना चाहिए, है ना? एंड वी हैव each one is beautiful. मैं एक ही चीज कहूंगी, when I went to Canada, I missed my country and my countrymen because I thought all of them have the same features. They were just white. But when I come to my country, everybody has a unique face. Have you noticed this? Everybody has a unique face. और इतना ब्यूटीफुल है हमारे देश में कि यू कैन मेक आउट कि ये व्यक्ति गुजराती है या महाराष्ट्रन है या बंगाली है या साउथ इंडियन है, जस्ट बाय देयर फेस. माने इतना डिस्टिंक्ट फीचर्स है हमारे देश में लोगों के कि इट इज सो ब्यूटीफुल. बट मुझे नहीं लगता अगर हम अमेरिका जाएंगे तो हमें पता चलेगा कि कोई फ्रेंच है या कोई अमेरिकन है या कोई ब्रिटिश है. आई थिंक आई कैन नॉट मेक दैट आउट. आई डोंट नो इफ यू ऑल कैन मेक इट आउट, बट मैं तो नहीं मेक आउट कर सकती. मुझे लगता है कि सभी गोरे हैं, है ना? तो ये एक ब्यूटीफुल क्वालिटी है हमारी. एवरीबॉडीज नोज इज डिफरेंट, एवरीबॉडीज, एंड येट व्हेन अ नोज पिन इज पुट, एवरीबॉडीज नोज लुक सो ब्यूटीफुल.
एंड मैम
सिर्फ हमारी एक प्रॉब्लम है, एक नॉनसेंसिकल प्रॉब्लम है, कलर ऑफ द स्किन. ये हमारे देश की सबसे बड़ी प्रॉब्लम है.
अरे मैम वो पका हुआ है, गेहुआ कलर है. गांधी जी ने कहा था व्हीटिश कलर है, व्हाइट नहीं है, वो कच्चा है. पका हुआ चीज अच्छी होती है.
पका हुआ है, हमारा रंग पका हुआ है. आई लाइक दैट शकुंतला, हमारा रंग पका
मैम,
हुआ है. बहुत
मैम
बढ़िया.
इसके पर एक और
कच्चा
था ना
नहीं.
कि
गांधी जी ने
गधे तो
कहा,
सब एक ही
गांधी जी
रंग के
कह
होते
सकते हैं.
हैं, घोड़े ही अलग अलग रंगों के होते हैं, गधे तो सब एक ही रंग के होते हैं.
गांधी जी ही वो कह सकते थे कि हमारा रंग पका हुआ है.
पका हुआ.
बहुत बढ़िया. बट या
एंड मैम
आई
देयर
थिंक
वाज
we should be
मूवी.
proud of our color. Yeah.
मैम एक मूवी आई थी मैं सुंदर हूँ, महमूद.
हाँ, महमूद.
यू मस्ट वॉच.
महमूद की.
महमूद की
हाँ.
मैं सुंदर हूँ.
I would like to share something, Dr. Trupti,
Yes,
regarding
yes. Please, Dipti, bolo.
a very far off uncle.
हाँ,
This I'm talking about 60 years ago, okay?
हाँ,
He had gone to see his wife, a would-be wife,
हाँ,
and I think the family said that you're too dark.
हाँ,
So he said, this is my color,
हाँ,
except if you wish.
हाँ,
Otherwise, it's okay. ये
हाँ,
पका हुआ color, this is what, and that's what, I don't remember the exact words,
हाँ,
but ये पका हुआ color है. So I'm,
हाँ.
something to that
Yeah.
effect, but I don't remember the exact words, because my
I
grandmother
think,
used to say that.
yeah, all of us have understood this, right? But I want you to now just take a step back and think, have you ever said this to anybody else, like a child, or spoken about this in reference to somebody else? Be careful, है ना? हम कई बार ना अनकॉन्शियसली ऐसी चीजें बोल देते हैं, राइट? तो हमें थोड़ा ध्यान देना पड़ेगा। एक चश्मा, एक रंग और एक चश्मा। इफ द पुअर गर्ल हु इज अबाउट टू गेट मैरिड, अगर उसको चश्मे हैं तो ये डिस्कशन होता है, अरे उसको चश्मे हैं,
चश्मिश।
चश्मिश है ये।
वो एक मूवी में
मतलब इट इज, व्हाट डू यू
करिश्मा
वांट? यू वांट ए परफेक्ट पर्सन। परफेक्ट, परफेक्ट है क्या? देयर इज नथिंग लाइक परफेक्ट, राइट? एनीवे, okay, Baba, you want to say something, bacha?
Yes, I already shared it before about the skin color, so I just wanted to say
Yeah.
something very quickly that in other cultures it's the opposite. Like in my culture, because I was born and raised in Russia, so we didn't have much sun. So for us, we were so pale all the time. So for us, if someone was a little bit darker, it was considered healthy. And we were so sickly and pale that if someone could afford, like was a little more rich, they could afford to go to the south to get suntan. And so that person was considered more wealthy and more healthy. And that's one thing.
Wow.
That's about the skin color. And another thing about beauty, that I also suffered a lot since childhood from this thing. And then what does a girl with low self-esteem do when she grows up? She goes to work in a model agency, so that she's constantly surrounded by models and constantly gets like hit on her head with low self-esteem. So what I learned from the agency is that none of the girls who were beautiful, none had a good life, because they had so much attention from people, from men, that they did not need in their life. And they wasted so much time on being beautiful that was completely not their necessity, that girls who were less beautiful, they got good husbands and they got good life. And none of my model girlfriends have the life that they wanted.
Wow, that's a fantastic insight. And I think Vava, I remember, had said this beautiful thing in the online mystic journey. Vava, you had said that the most beautiful women, I mean, because you worked in Paris, right?
Yes.
Remember you had said this, that the most beautiful women are considered kind of Sudanese women. You had said something like that, right?
Yes, the like absolutely black, bluish black skin is celebrated in Africa, in Sudan, because it's considered very special and very different. So that those women are very appreciated in the fashion world, because in the fashion world, they like everything different. And not different like in the case with mental incapacity, you know, like you said in the beginning of this session, but different in the sense that, you know, all the different colors are so beautiful, like United Colors of Benetton. You know, they specifically collect people that are very different from each other and beautiful in their own way.
Yeah.
And, you know, I look at girls, like I was in India many times, I look at girls who suffer from being called dark, and I look at them and I'm like, you're not even dark. What is this that you created? Yeah, what is this that you created in your head thinking? And it's not even your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is low self-esteem.
Yes, absolutely right. Absolutely
right. It's not the dark color of your skin, because, you know, even I'm looking at faces right now of women who were just sharing about their dark skin. They're not even dark. they're just the color that in my culture is considered tan and healthy and rich. You know, like who can afford to get suntan. So it's all very
Thank you,
culture dependent. So,
true.
And also another thing about my looks, like in my culture, it's not considered, my face is not considered beautiful. But when I went to Japan, men were like falling down in front of me. They were saying that my look is the look of the noble princesses.
So
I was,
can we,
you know, my whole.
Can we please have a look?
You can have your video on, Baba.
Baba,
No,
come on, beautiful.
I'm in bed right now. I'm
Come on,
sorry.
no, come on, Baba, now please show us your beautiful face. Now you
No,
can't
no,
say
no.
that. I mean, the Japanese men had a chance to look at you, and we are not getting a chance. That's not fair. Come on, put on your video.
No, I'm in bed. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I am coming in December. We can take lots of pictures.
She's coming in December. Okay, lovely.
And
So
even
I
one more
think
thing, one more thing with dark skin, we have so sharp features, people don't see that, but people with dark skin have really good features. Very
people,
prominent.
do you know people with dark skin, you can't see the wrinkles, by the way.
True.
So there are many advantages to have a darker skin. Anyway, that's not, it's just funny. But the key is that, yes, that is really, that's part of your, like Baba said, the low self-esteem is part of your shadow self.
And I remember what my grandmother said about that, the far off cousin, uncle. That what he said in Gujarati, it's in Gujarati. कि आप कलर धोवाती पण नहीं जाए पाको कलर से.
That's what Shakuntala said, na? Pakka rang hai. Okay, Tapasya says I had a dark and beautiful wife in my past life. So that's great. Wonderful. All right. So anyway, so this discussion can go on and on. But thank you so much. And this is a beautiful part of us, the shadow self. We need to address it. We need to work with it so that we can become whole and complete. Right? The shadow self will not trouble us. The shadow self will always be there, but it will be integrated then, into this whole and complete person that we are. Okay. So thank you again.
नमस्ते माँ, मैं एक चीज कहना चाह रही थी।
हाँ बोलो खुशबू।
माँ मैंने ज्वाइन किया और बाई चांस नेट की वजह से मैं डिस्कनेक्ट हो गई, तो पूरा सेशन तो मिस हुआ और फिर 100 हो गया था शायद, तो मुझे चांस नहीं मिला। बट अभी मैंने 5 मिनट पहले ज्वाइन किया तो मैं सुन रही थी, तो मैं बस उसमें ये चीज कहना चाह रही थी कि मुझे बचपन से बहुत बोला जाता था कि मेरी आवाज बहुत खराब है, मैं बहुत फास्ट बोलती हूँ, ट्रेन चल रही है वो, तो मैंने बोलना बंद कर दिया था। बात में बहुत जरूरी है उतना ही सोच सोच के उतना ही बोलती थी, या फिर हम नोट कर देते तो उतना करती थी। तो फिर उसके बाद कभी जब मुझे किसी ने कॉलेज में, जैसे हम फ्रेंड्स वगैरह होते हैं, कभी बोला भी जैसे हम अंताक्षरी या कुछ खेल रहे हैं तब की तुम्हारी आवाज अच्छी है, पर मैंने कभी ध्यान नहीं दिया और लिया भी तो उसको पॉजिटिवली नहीं लिया, कि मुझे लगा नहीं ये तो शायद मन रखने के लिए ऐसे बोल देते हैं, वैसे बोल रहे हैं। बट लगभग आज से 4-5 साल पहले जब मैंने आपको कुछ रिकॉर्ड करके भेजा था और आपने फिर मुझे बहुत बहुत मतलब इतना एंथू के साथ इतना उससे जब मुझे प्रेस किया, मुझे आज तक वो बात मतलब कानों में जैसे वो गूंजता है मेरे, और मेरा मन करता है काश वो रिकॉर्डेड होता। उस टाइम पे सेशन स्टार्ट होने से पहले आपने कहा था और रिकॉर्ड नहीं था वो, तो मुझे ऐसा हमेशा लगता था काश मैं वो रिकॉर्ड करती और बार बार उसको सुनती। बट माँ उससे एक जो चीज अच्छी हुई ये हुई कि एक तो मुझे वो मेरे अंदर की वो चीज निकल गई कि नहीं मेरी आवाज खराब है, और मतलब मैंने क्यों मान लिया, अगर मुझे कहा गया तो मैंने क्यों इसको माना। सेकेंडली आपके कहने के बाद मुझे कई लोगों ने बोला माँ कि मेरी आवाज बहुत अच्छी है, क्योंकि फिर मैंने आपके कहने का पता नहीं उस मोमेंट में क्या था, इतना मेरे पे असर हुआ था कि मेरे को सब पुराना एकदम से जैसे क्लीन हो गया कि नहीं मेरी आवाज खराब है। और उसके बाद मुझे कई लोगों ने बोला, कई ने तो ये तक था कि तुम प्रॉपरली सीखो, तुम अगर सिंगिंग मतलब सीखती हो कुछ ऐसा तो तुम रिकॉर्ड कर सकती हो, तुम्हारी आवाज बिल्कुल डिफरेंट है ये वो। तो मुझे लगता था कि कैसा एक छोटा सा कभी हमें कहा होता है और हम कैसा उसको लेके बैठ जाते हैं अपने अंदर। तो अभी मुझे नहीं पता चल रहा था, आज जो हुआ पूरा वो तो मैं रिकॉर्डिंग में सुनूंगी, बट ये बात मुझे पता नहीं क्यों क्लिक हुई, तो लगा मैं मतलब आपको थैंक यू भी बोलती हूँ और शेयर करती हूँ आपको कि आपके एक कहने से और इतना मेरे अंदर मतलब एक वो चीज ही पूरी जो नेगेटिव कहीं चली आ रही थी, दबी हुई थी और मैं अब दबा के रखती थी खुद को, वही खत्म हो गई पूरी माँ। तो अब एक बार अभी
बढ़िया बढ़िया खुशबू। I mean, don't you think her voice is so clear and beautifully she expresses herself, है ना? और खुशबू की आवाज भी बहुत मीठी सी है।
जैसी है, राजश्री जैसी।
हाँ राजश्री जैसी आवाज है। खुशबू को सीखना
That's
चाहिए। I
right.
don't know
You
why
want
she
to
is
say
not
something?
learning online खुशबू क्लासेस सीखो।
यस माँ, अभी मैंने मतलब एक अभी जस्ट मैं नाम भूल गई, उनके साथ मैंने बात किया है, तो अभी मैं ऑनलाइन स्टार्ट कर रही हूँ अपना
वेरी
सीखना।
गुड, एक्सीलेंट। Wonderful, wonderful. Very nice.
Thanks to you, Ma. Thanks to you.
Thank you.
Nandrani, you want to say something? You have raised your hand. Unmute yourself.
Thank you. Hello, Trupti and
Hi.
So I have a question regarding self-sabotage. You said that about having, even though despite understanding the root of it, the trauma of it, the belief that went in, despite working on it for years and years and years, I still can't seem to shift it. It seems to be so stubborn. How do I do that? Because now I'm thinking, well, I don't have any self-control, but it's so compelling that I don't know what to do with it anymore,
It's don't say it is difficult to work on self-sabotage. You'll have to set goals, basically. So what is that one thing that you're constantly struggling with? Can you tell me?
Yes, I can. It's from childhood. I was always told I was fat and overweight. Maybe I wasn't, but I've believed that. And so even now, no matter what I try, I just can't seem to shift the weight. It's not so much about looking nice anymore. It's about actually health. Yeah, I know all the things I need to do, but it almost seems so stubbornly entrenched in me that, yeah, I just need some help, please. How would I shift this?
So now everybody has told you that you have excess weight.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if you look at your body and touch your body at this moment,
Yeah.
where is the weight more?
My stomach.
Your stomach. Okay. So what is it in your stomach that is there, which is what is it that you are holding on in your stomach? So stomach is related to your parents. It's related to your early years when you were growing up. Are you having any issue with your parents, your father and mother?
Yes. For what I remember, it's really about not feeling nourished, maybe physically abused.
Okay.
I think to the point that I thought, because I know now that my mother wasn't well, and I worked on forgiveness on that. But there are many times I thought she was going to kill me, and I think when I tried to be a good girl, and I thought she would be happy, there was a time when she just really, really, it was very common, but this particular time I remember the memory. It was just, I thought she was going to kill me, and I just remember then at that point, kind of nourishing myself from the pain of the hurt just by eating and eating. And I know it's not about the food, as you said, but the stomach, I think it's about nourishment, I think.
Okay. So now that you're telling me that you were not nourished enough by your mother, right? Because the torso, the stomach region, and especially weight that doesn't shift. Yeah? Sometimes the weight keeps shifting. You lose weight, you gain weight. That's another thing, but your weight is not shifting. So what I suggest is, you said you have done some kind of forgiveness work.
Oh, yes, I did it for about 20 years until I had a breakthrough.
What you told in that work of forgiveness?
Because I did so many different modalities for forgiveness, the one that I had to really, in the end, I had to just pray to Krishna and say, please reveal to me what it is I need to understand. And it was really out of compassion that actually my mother was very, very ill. And so now I can completely forgive her for that. But I can't seem to shift the...
But the weight is not shifting.
No.
Right?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, see, the one element is forgiveness, and the second element is acceptance. I can say I forgive, but do I accept whatever she did?
I think I can
Can I accept everything that she did? Maybe it
Yes.
was for my good. I don't know what is good for me.
Yeah. Truptiji, I
But
do
maybe it was for my good.
I accept it because I had this deep realization within the heart that in the past life I had done this to her. And so I wanted to cut the cords and just let it go. So I have complete acceptance of it.
Good.
And complete forgiveness of myself as well as my mother.
But your weight is not shifting.
No.
So what I suggest to do you have your mother's photograph?
Yes.
With you?
At the moment?
No. Do you have
With
your
me.
mother's photograph?
Yes.
Which
Yes,
you
I
are there as a child?
Yes. My mother's photo as a child.
No. Your photo with your mother when you were a child.
Yes.
Okay. So please keep that photograph near your bedside. And every morning when you wake up, bow down to her.
Mm.
And every night before you go to sleep, bow down to her. And thank her. Thank her for being your mother. Thank her for whoever she was, all that she did for you, and all that she didn't do for you. Keep looking at that photograph, bowing down to her for 5 minutes. Bow down means put your head down. Okay, you have to do that exercise. And as you do that exercise, you don't have to do anything, just bow down. मैं कुछ बोलना नहीं है उनको. You know, nothing, you have no need for any dialogue with her. Just bow down to her. I just want to tell her, you and everybody else, sometimes when you are a victim, no, you can have a very big ego. You know, victims have a big ego. मुझे ऐसा किया, मुझे वैसा किया, इस तरह से मुझे बात की, इस तरह से मुझे नरिश नहीं किया, इस तरह से मुझे गुस्सा किया, राइट? मैं, मुझे ये हुआ है. I. So this I needs to bend. The more you bend, and you're going to bend, right? You're going to bow down, your stomach is going to press when you bow down. Okay? So you are going to allow that emotion that is locked inside your torso, near your umbilical cord, near your navel. You're bowing down from there. Start doing this exercise regularly, every day. And let me know how you feel first. Stop thinking of your weight as a problem. Your weight is not a problem. Your weight is vazan. Vazan mane, something has been put over you. What has been put over you? The idea that you were not nourished, the belief that, you were a victim, whatever, all these beliefs that you have been carrying is the vazan, is the weight. So you have to let go of this belief completely. And if they are alive, obviously you must bow down to them if they are alive. She's not alive, so you can bow down to the photograph. And break this victim ego. Victims also carry an ego. Have you noticed this? वो खुद ही के बारे में बात करते रहेंगे हमेशा. ओ मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ, ओ मेरे साथ ऐसा हुआ, and they get drowned in that because they want attention. A victim wants attention and love only. Every human being wants attention and love only, nothing else. But this victim is gaining attention like this, talking about the poor self. That cannot be done any longer. You don't have to do that any longer. Just do this exercise and let me know in 2-3 months how you're doing. Okay, my dear girl?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I want to say that this to everybody. You know, while your parents are alive, हमारे देश में ही ऐसा है कि हम अपने माता पिता के पैर छूते हैं. I don't know if any other culture does. Maybe they do different things. Okay, but we do it because as Indians, we break our ego. Bowing down to somebody is saying that I surrender. है ना? You know na? Krishna says surrender to me.
Sarvadharma
Me.
Parityajam. Yeah.
Come to me. Surrender to me. पर पहले तुम्हें अपने आप को surrender करने के लिए bow तो करना पड़ेगा. So, and you know that our parents are considered as gods.
Yeah.
ईश्वर ने हमें हमारे माता पिता दिए उन्हीं की छवि में, है ना? और कृष्ण की छवि कैसी है? ऐसे नहीं कि कृष्ण is only the mischievous Krishna. Krishna can be the warrior Krishna also. है ना? उनके कई स्वरूप है. करेक्ट है? सो हमारे माता पिता के भी कई स्वरूप है. हमने शायद ये स्वरूप चुना. हमने शायद ये स्वरूप चुना है कृष्ण का अपने माता पिता में. सो बाउ डाउन टू दैट ऑल्सो. जो स्वरूप में ईश्वर आए हैं हमारे पास अपने माता पिता के रूप में, सरेंडर एंड बाउ डाउन टू देम. दैट्स ऑल. And if you are able to do that, trust me, आपका ध्यान आपके वजन से हट जाएगा. You are only focusing on weight. You're not focusing on the emotional and mental weight that you are carrying. Moment you surrender, everything goes. है ना? तुमने एक डैम बना के रखा है, बांध, विक्टिमहुड का बांध, डैम.
I thought I had let go of it, Trupti, to be honest with you, because I know.
Yeah, sure. We all think that.
Yeah, I know victims are the most selfish people.
Yeah,
but I think what you're saying.
ये लाइफ लॉन्ग है. जब तक मरोगे नहीं तब तक थोड़ा 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 वजन कम करना पड़ेगा. थोड़ा 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 थोड़ा. Things don't go away. The shadow self is such, it's stuck to you like glue. With Fevicol, it doesn't go away that easily. Yes, it reduces with awareness, with knowledge, it reduces. Our attention goes less to it. But it is there till it transforms. And to transform that takes ages, my dear, ages. Because you have to transform it at the mental level, at the emotional level, at the spiritual level, at the physical level. Transformation is not only, it can also be verbal transformation, what I tell myself or what others tell me, and non-verbal transformation, what I tell myself internally. So transformation, you let go a little bit and then still your mind. Now, the fact that you're speaking about it at this moment, that the weight is not going, that means at a very deep collective unconscious level, it is still troubling.
Yes.
There is trouble, hai na? So you are talking about it, right? So, and it's okay. It's okay. Thank God you're talking about it. You're aware of it, right? Just bow down to your parents and surrender to them. Surrender. I don't believe in actually forgiveness. Who am I to forgive my parents? I'm nobody to forgive my parents. How can I forgive them? It's such a stupid thing to do. I cannot forgive my parents. They are my gods. I cannot forgive them, right? God has sent himself to me. But I am unwilling to see God in them. So I am troubled by them. But if I'm able to see God in them, and I'm able to have this amazement, oh my God, God can appear like this to me. wow, how has God shown me this image of His? There has to be some great secret behind this. And I'm going to unveil that secret. And if I unveil that, I'm amazed. And I'm now, I'm opening that, I'm unboxing that secret. Think of it now. Think of it like this, okay? Unboxing the secret that God is showing me this horrible Swarupa, terrible Swarupa, angry Swarupa. Are bhaiya, kyun? God, why are you showing me this? There has to be a secret. And then when I investigate that secret, what will I have to do? Will I have to sit, procrastinate, or will I have to run to that understanding? I'm moving into that secret, right? And then you will see that it will be a journey, amazing adventure that you are going to get into. Unboxing that secret. Beta, is tarah se na, this is where the curious self comes up. The inner child that is curious. In TA, we call it the little professor. The little professor in me that is trying to find out ways and means to understand the secret. Abracadabra, that's the little professor in us. So when you better develop this self of yours, this little professor of yours, then all this will go away. This victim word, this whatever, all this will just disappear because you have changed your perception only. Everything changes when your perception changes. That's all. When I turn here, it is dark. When I turn here, there is light. So I turn to light. So far, you're turning to darkness. Oh, let me forgive and let me do this and let me accept. You have no reason not to accept. कोई chance ही नहीं है that you cannot accept. So where will you tell yourself I better accept? अरे, you have to accept. है ना? इसमें कोई option है नहीं आपके पास. So बेटा ये ना perception change करो अपना पहले तो, है ना? So Krishna is coming to you in this form. ऐसे सोच. Then everything will change because you will see Krishna only in them. है ना? So, to worship the Lord is not easy. हम सब बहुत करते हैं rituals ये वो सब. To worship the Lord is not easy. Because आप मंदिर जाके वर्शिप कर रहे हैं, अपने घर में वर्शिप कर रहे हैं. अरे पर जो ईश्वर ने तुम्हें लोग दिए उनको तो पहले वर्शिप करो. उनको वर्शिप करना नहीं है, तुम्हें इस छवि को वर्शिप करना है. आइडल को आप अच्छी तरह से सजाओ, उसको ये करो. अरे भैया, what about your parents, your siblings, your husband, your children? इनको वर्शिप करो. Touch the feet of your spouse every day. क्या ये हो सकता है? क्या ये किया जा सकता है? किया जा सकता है. Your spouse will say, what are you doing? And you say, no, I have to. You are my God. I have to worship you. तुम्हारा spouse अपने आप बदल जाएगा because he feels so terrible. The next time he says something to you, he said, भगवान कल सुबह ये आके मेरा पैर छूने वाली है. I better be on the best of my behavior. Okay? In time to come, you will see a shift in your spouse. है ना? अपने बच्चों के पैर छू. If you've done some terrible thing, but don't make it a joke. ये भी important है ना? It should be done with such devotion and seriousness. तो ये बहुत important है ना? मैं तो यही कहूंगी, and I completely believe in this. I think this has changed the lives of so many people, whomever I have said this to. है ना? Do this. Okay, spiritual posturing. पर हम क्या करते हैं? Spiritual bypassing. We are expert at spiritual bypassing, not spiritual posturing. ये सब bypassing है. ये forgiveness exercise, cord cutting. You know, I don't believe in cord cutting anyway. I think my students know that, okay? You cannot cut anything. क्योंकि अगर आप काटेंगे तो क्या होगा? क्या होगा अगर हम किसी चीज को काटते हैं? Think of the earthworm. When you cut the earthworm, what happens? 2 earthworms. You cut 2 earthworms, 4 earthworms. You cut 4 earthworms, 8 earthworms. Nature is a reflection of you. Animals are a reflection of you. Learn from that. Can you cut? No. मेरे माता पिता ने मुझे आंखें दी, मुझे नाक दिया. Can I cut it? काट दो फिर. Become blind. नहीं, it's not possible. ये सब वेस्टर्न इन्फ्लुएंसेस है. हमारे देश में हम ऐसा कभी नहीं करेंगे. काट दो, मार दो. ये हमारा सिस्टम ही नहीं है. और स्पिरिचुअली तो नॉट एट ऑल. You cannot cut anybody out of your life. The world works on inclusion, not exclusion. Correct? दुनिया कैसे चलती है? इंक्लूजन से चलती है कि एक्सक्लूजन से चलती है? वरना एक्सक्लूड ही कर लो सबको, अकेले रहो जाके. नहीं. That is why human beings are social animals. हमें लोग चाहिए. Right? तो ये सब, these are the spiritual truths of life. When you accept, when you understand, not accept, understand this deeply, your life, even if you have a fight with somebody, in a very next moment, recovery will be faster. That's all. I always say, recovery rate kya hai aapka? What is your recovery rate? 1 second, 2 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 day. Your recovery rate will indicate to you, are you spiritually bypassing or are you spiritually accepting or posturing? Understood? Ye simple cheez hai. Your recovery rate will decide how healthy you are. Yes or no?
Yes.
That's it. If you're able to recover quickly, great. Then work on it. Work on your rate of recovery. That's all you have to do. So don't spiritually bypass by all these nonsensical fundas. Huh? This is not spiritual living. Okay. So again, thank you so much. I'm thanking you now for the 4th time, but thank you again.
Thank you so
And,
much,
we
ma'am.
meet again
Wonderful
next
session.
Thursday.
Thank you,
What is
ma'am.
the next Thursday, Shakuntala?
I think Mundak Upanishad we have.
Mundaka Upanishad is there.
And next to next is Gudakesh meditation.
Wonderful. We are having some wonderful speakers coming in, this time, this whole year and next year also. We already have people lined up. Wonderful, wonderful. See, this is all God's doing. The Lord wants us to do all this. Y'all are also wanting this. Chal raha hai.
Today it was house full,
Thank you,
100
ma'am.
House full.
people waiting.
Excuse me.
House full.
Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am, Manisha here.
Yes, Manisha, darling.
Good evening, ma'am. It was a wonderful talk. I just wanted, I know I'm taking your time. It's already late, but I just wanted to know how can we differentiate between the conditioning that happens in our childhood from the shadow of the current life and of the past life that we are carrying?
अभी तो पहले बेटा इसी लाइफ का फोकस करो ना, है ना? Because when a client comes to you ना मनीषा, पहले तो तुम्हें इसी लाइफ का इनर चाइल्ड वर्क थोड़ा करना पड़ेगा, है ना? जहाँ पे यू विल फोकस ऑन द शैडो सेल्फ दैट इज कमिंग अप फॉर हिम और हर टुडे. बाद में तुम पास्ट लाइफ सेशन करोगी ना, तो पहला इनर चाइल्ड वर्क करोगी तो उसमें काफी चीजें बाहर निकलेगी. एंड देन यू विल ऑल्सो बी एबल टू आइडेंटिफाई द कोर इश्यू which is coming because of the shadow self. And then when you do the past life session, you can focus on that issue that is coming up from your shadow self. So it will become easier for you to take the client back in time. This can be very helpful.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Ma'am, and another small thing, just a little, ma'am, about me. I have got a tendency to start any conversation if someone is sharing their viewpoint, even if I'm affirming and I'm agreeing to it, I'll start with nahi. So I don't know what it is and what does it denote. I just need a little help.
So तुम ऐसे करो, आज के बाद जब कॉन्वर्सेशन स्टार्ट करो तो नहीं अपने मन में बोलो, डोंट से इट लाउडली.
Thank you, ma'am.
नहीं मन में बोलो and then continue the conversation. After some time वो अपने आप चला जाएगा.
And now you say yes,
Thank you,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. नहीं
Yes.
बोलो ही मत. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you,
Good
everybody.
night.
All right. See you all.
Thank you.
Thank you
One
so
more
much,
session on
ma'am.
shadow
Wonderful
self. Yeah,
session.
we'll have one more session on
Good
shadow
night,
self.
ma'am.
Not
Thank
to
you so
worry.
much.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night, ma'am. Good
Good
night.
night. Good night,
Good
everybody.
night.
Thank you,
Thank
ma'am. Good night.
you.